Today, you're gonna see 8 of Steph Curry's craziest items he owns. Save this video for when you become a crazy millionaire. You see, Steph had a problem. Outside the NBA, he makes millions of dollars, but behind closed doors, it's a different story on how he spends it. Especially when he found out he wasted thousands of dollars on a pretty expensive automatic Tesla toilet. More on that later in the video. These are 8 items Steph Curry owns that cost more than your life. 75K mouthpiece. You see, Curry has a problem. Back in the day, Curry was pretty passionate and would crash out when things did not go his way. His fans watch from the stands, and the little angry Curry trunks his mouthpiece to the stands.
That is an automatic ejection.
Now, imagine you catching that mouthpiece. You can feel the excitement of catching a mouthpiece that has been in another man's slobbery, sweaty mouth. Now, let's be real. There are 7 crazy expensive items that Steph Curry owns. Now, a mouthpiece may not be as expensive as a mansion we'll cover later on in the video, but every time Steph Curry throws his mouthpiece into the crowd after rage quitting, he gets fined. Now, the fines can range from thousands of dollars to hundreds of dollars, but it's gotten to the point where Steph Curry's mouthpiece fines have been valued at $75,000! 4 out of 10 for this item. You rank these items as well. We'll be ranking every single item that Steph Curry's own. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this video. Outside of this grown man's mouth, the internet breaks when you hear a millionaire athlete's address get leaked. And worse comes to worse when Curry's $50 million Malibu mansion in 2020 was purchased for his family. This house sits in front of the beach, getting a pretty cool, great ocean view. But here's some bad news. This house was sold for a bigger and better house. Imagine you have enough money to buy the house. What would you actually get? Inside this house, there were 4 rooms and a daily view of the beach. Can't you feel the calm ocean breeze through your screen? Oh, feels so good, bro. Go and do it again. But this $50 million house doesn't compare to the $200 million house later in the video. 6, luxury watches. In rich people's world, you probably have heard of Lizard Man buying hella expensive watches. Yeah, how do you feel there are people making millions of dollars every year to buy useless watches? It's kind of like buying the nicest pair of shoes back in elementary school and being the cool kid with the freshest pair of kicks. You felt great, you felt excited, flexing in front of people. You see, Steph Curry has another problem. He is one of these rich people that owns really expensive watches. Now, he could reinvest into dinner dates with his wife or randomly donating to Steph Curry fans, but he chooses to invest his money in this collection. Curry has a couple of brand name watches like, Rolex, the Braid Too Cool Subscribe Right Now watches. Now, the watch world is an incredibly different planet that I'm not too familiar with. Because you're not as rich as Curry, this is nothing to be angry about. Number 5, private jet. Up in the clouds, Curry secretly owns a time machine. This is something you should be angry about! But you have to imagine a world where you get to the point where you have enough money to own a private jet like Curry. You can now be in Japan, Paris, or Portugal because you made a small donation of $10,000 to the private jet company. Yes, at number 5, the private jet is going to be a solid 7 out of 10 investment because I can take and you can take your family to Disney World. You can take your family to Saudi Arabia. You can take your family anywhere in the world. On top of that, you get to nap on a plane and don't get to hear a baby screaming. Yeah! But you're gonna scream when you see the $200 million house Steph Curry owns and now lives in. But number 4, custom sneakers. In your private jet, you're gonna have to take off your shoes and kick up your feet. But you need to make sure your shoes are good. You can't be out here and feel bad for having these crusty, no-looker, toenail munching, stank booty, Sketcher looking shoes. Hell no, bro. You have to wear your secret performance booster shoes that Steph Curry wears all the time. You see, Steph Curry has a problem. He doesn't fly around and flaunt his money. Instead, he just puts his head down and wants you to find out this fun fact. Fun fact, Steph Curry actually owns his own Curry branded shoes. But you're going to be pretty upset at the price if you're not that big in the shoes. More on that later. For now, let's focus on Curry's game-worn shoes, like his custom-made Under Armour shoes, valued at $30,000. And if that price doesn't make you jump for joy and be happy, wait until you find out the sad truth. These shoes are paid to win. They're secret performance-enhancing shoes that you have to buy. But remember, these are under Curry's special brand. But under this super secret special brand, they come at a super duper hefty price. See, if you don't have a job, if you're not a Starbucks cashier, these $120 shoes are gonna piss you off. But it is worth it, as they do come with like spring-like shit. They make you grow taller. They make you literally turn from your 40-inch vertical to an 80-inch vertical, bro. No, I'm lying my ass off. But these shoes cost $120. But they don't come close to Steph Curry's $250,000 shoes. You see, Curry had a fourth problem. Curry broke an NBA all-time record. This being the record-breaking amount of three-pointers ever. Scoring over 3,000 three-pointers in his career lifetime. With this huge accomplishment, these made these shoes valued at $250,000. But that doesn't come close to the $200 million Atherton house later in the video. At number 2, futuristic automatic robotic toilet. In your home, you and your family poop, pee, and probably throw up in your cheap marble plastic toilet bowl. But you're gonna feel bad and shocked when you find out about Curry's little problem. You see, Curry had another problem. But a bigger fun fact is Curry's wife, Ayesha, actually gifted him this automatic toilet bowl, valued at around a stinky $10,000. Curry has gone on to say that this is actually a performance booster toilet bowl. Quote, "Oh man, that toilet just makes me happy in life. I bet if I did a case study of my performance since I got that toilet, you definitely see a difference." I was in Minnesota when Ayesha told me about it, and the next day, I had 46 points. There's a reason for that. I'm going to give this a 0 out of 10. This is kind of the more troll. But what isn't a troll is a $200 million Atherton house that Steph Curry lives at. Yes, this really expensive mansion that Steph Curry actively lives in, valued at $200 million, is the most expensive thing Steph Curry owns. Besides that and the price of family, you see, Steph Curry has owned a lot of expensive items. To recap, $75,000 Mouthpiece, Malibu mansion, luxury watches, a private jet, an own custom shoe collection, a futuristic toilet, and a $200 million Atherton house.